We got the J men in here today.
Over there. What was it? That was a shot of something.
Oh no, that was Ice-T.
Listen, man. Welcome. I appreciate you taking your time out for a Son of the Wise podcast, bro. Both of you kings, honestly.
No problem.
Excited.
For asking.
I want to talk about.
Jamal, put your mic. Can you put your mic a little closer? I know it looks like it's right here, but your voice is a little low.
Oh, I can fix.
Oh, is it me? Hold on, my volume was down. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you got that artistry going on over there. Got the mic and stuff going, huh?
Yeah, I'm on my computer, so I just unhooked the mic. That's hooked up.
Yeah, I did the same. I'm not gonna front. I did the same.
Yeah.
So Blackout Tuesday, guys.
Yes.
How did you guys feel about it? What do you guys know about it?
So,
Jared, go ahead.
I was gonna answer. How do you guys feel about it?
What do you know about it? Like, it popped out for me. It popped out of nowhere.
I was about to say I didn't know much about it until
at all.
Instagram, to be honest. Yeah.
When did you guys hear about it?
I heard about it a few days ago.
When did you hear about it, Jamal?
Sure, yeah, 2 days ago.
No, I heard it this morning. I heard about it this morning.
I
saw it.
I saw it a few days ago.
I didn't take it in.
Because someone said for it. I forget what.
You know what?
Some celebrity said something about
Garcelle Bouvet. She's Haitian. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Mm-hmm. She posted it 2 days ago. You're right. Y'all are right. I saw it.
I thought it was supposed to be like next week though.
No, it said June 2nd. I was like, oh, that's kind of soon to have like a movement. Yeah. But like once I saw it started from the music. Okay, so here's what my understanding is. And I made a post about it on Facebook. And I think this is the best way to put it in my own opinion. Mm-hmm. This is what, again, in my own opinion, this is what I gathered from everything. I said, from my understanding, I believe that the Blackout Tuesday was created by the music industry. I heard it was Quincy Jones, but I didn't just want to put that out there because I didn't do my complete research. It was for the music industry in an effort to break the toxic ties that a lot of artists have to their label. This then transformed into a movement within the Uprising, where we as Black Lives Matter supporters are able to now show that we will not only support Black-owned businesses today, but also upload posts that are only about the Uprising and the movement. So all in all, when you use this was about the hashtag. So that goes further into why we shouldn't use the BLM hashtag. But that's what I gathered from all the information, quote unquote, put out there.
Okay. Yeah, I did hear something about that too, that it was made by musicians. I don't know. I still don't know much about it. So.
I don't either. But for me, my page is private, so I didn't have to worry about the hashtag. So, So that was like the big thing everybody was going through. Like, don't take away from the Black Lives Matter hashtag movement because of this blackout day. So they were trying to like not use the hashtag essentially on those posts.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say I quickly gathered that before I posted my black post that
and I was shocked that people still posting weren't able to or not privy to that information. Like people posting at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, you haven't seen this yet?
So
I wanted to tell people like I wanted to comment on people's posts like unhashtag your Black Lives Matter.
I did as
so that's what I gathered, but I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. So I just
that goes back to how you asked, how do I feel about this? Because I feel like this is for some people. Let me support Black Lives Matter today and go about my life tomorrow.
For the Blackout Tuesday movement?
Yes, and I feel like that's what a lot of it is for a lot of people. Granted, there are some people who are really, especially there are a lot of white people who are really stepping up and trying to say something and express themselves that there is a problem going on. But there are also a lot of people who you're never going to see anything relative to Black Lives Matter again.
Yeah.
This is true. That's the sad truth. That's the sad truth because we do have those, and I've been guilty of it too. This is my first time being a part of the uprising.
I agree.
Yes,
Exactly. Agree.
I've had made posts. Yes, I've had said things, had the conversation, but have I gone to a protest? No, today was my first time. Have I requested from my non-Black friends to take action? Not until today. You know what I mean? It's like there's something about this situation that's really speaking to my spirit, and it's really allowing me to see myself in a new light, really. And I'm getting away from my main point, I know that, but this is just on my spirit right now. But this movement, the Blackout Tuesday just clicked for me. I was like, okay, I have to speak. I have to say something.
Yeah, and I get that. And that happened to me. Whatever that day was, the first day I posted that first video. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't sit and be silent anymore. And I felt I needed to step up, and it is my time to step up. You know, it's our generation's time to now fight this fight that unfortunately, yes, our kids are gonna fight too, but it needs to be fought regardless of what's gonna happen. You know, Jamil, we were talking about this, you know, how I said, you know, we're not gonna see major change. And you know, we're not gonna see major change, but that doesn't mean that we don't need to fight.
There goes that we again. I'm hopeful.
But look, I don't see change, and I don't think my kids will see change, and I hope their kids will see change, but I doubt it. But we all need to fight this fight. It's our time to fight it, and we need to fight it just like our parents fought it, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and
but this also goes back into right before you hopped on, Jamal, we were having a little discussion. Change is relative to the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like to the time period, I should say, like, because every step, no matter how big or how small, is movement. And we have to start affirming that we have changed. Like, and I'm gonna challenge you every time you say something like that, brother. Like, we have changed, but it's not the change we want.
Have we changed though?
Yeah. Are we in shackles?
Okay, but no, we changed from then. But let's say from 1950s, you know, have we really made that great change?
Yeah,
I get you. I get you.
Okay, hold on.
Other than being told, let me just say this. Other than being told we can't go to that school or drink from that fountain, to be honest, like, other than that, how far have we come?
Okay, I'm with you. You gotta think though, like, yeah, we still have a long way to go. First and foremost, we are a young country. Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
that's a very
old as many. We're above so many countries, but at the same time, we're younger than all of them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we still have a ways to go as far as
the ignorant baby brother.
Like, yes. we have a ways to go. Yo, the 60s was like 70 years ago. 70 years ago was not a long time. It's not a long time.
No, people think like, yo, segregation was so long ago.
50 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
Hold on. Yeah, my bad. My math is low. 60 years. 50, 60. Oh, shit. Lord.
50-ish. 50-ish.
50-ish. Look, child. But yeah, it wasn't that long ago. But I think we have made strides. I mean, we have integration and people are waking up now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more people, white people and people of other colors, like, on our side now than they were then. So yeah, we have made changes, and I feel like white people or people that are not Black are starting to get it and understand. Even if they don't understand completely, they know something isn't right. They know that
they're willing to ask the question of what is this? Why is this?
Just ask the questions, but stand up too. So we are making strides for sure, but we still got a ways to go. Like, just me being in corporate life, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was gonna touch on see where we were, in the careers. I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, like, just the fact that, like, we still don't even, like, observe Martin Luther King Day. And, like, I work in insurance, so insurance is not, like, crazy diverse, but my company is not too badly diverse. Like, in each department, like, there's a set number of Black people. Granted, there aren't as many Black people as there are Mexican or white, but, like, it's a kind of diverse company. And for us not to even like acknowledge the holiday. It makes me mad every single year.
And let the people know where you're located. Where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
And I work downtown LA. So yeah, it's just a crying shame. Like every year I'm pissed off. Every year I'm like, I should just call out. And this year I was like, I'm gonna write a fucking letter. But I was like, they're gonna know who I am.
I think you're right. You guys are right. We have changed because also I made the video. I said this on a previous video I made. Like, Black people couldn't be millionaires back then, and look how far we have come. And look how
look at Black Wall Street. We just had the anniversary.
I take that statement back. We have made.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying that we weren't allowed to be opulent. We weren't allowed to be wealthy. We weren't allowed to be rich and mentally.
But that has changed. That has changed. The fact that there are actually Black celebrities and Black millionaires and Black people that people look up to, Black and white people, honestly.
But to your point, our dollar still isn't equal.
Yes, but I'm wrong. I take my statement back. I really do think we have made change.
We made change, and we still, even though it's like tough for Black people, we still have the opportunity to do the fuck.
Exactly. Like
over any other country, compared to any other country, we can still strive to be rich in this country. Some countries, like you're born into it or you're just born poor.
Yeah.
Like, some situations like that.
Where you're either royal or you're part of poverty. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to play the game. That could be selling out. That could be kissing ass. That could just be like you just being good.
And the rules of the game just aren't fair for us.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
You can make it fair for you. People may not agree.
By creating your own platforms, by working for yourself, by trying to go for your own practice.
So wait, this I had someone try to debate this with me that.
So wait, before you even get into that, Jared, why don't you tell us no. Like, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? Why don't you tell like the listeners and the viewers a little bit about like where you're from and like leading into that, like your education, because I think that's important. I think that's really important.
You said me or Jared?
Jared, not Jamal. Jared. He's like, yeah. So my name's Jamal. I'm from
Maryland. You know. Go ahead.
Baltimore.
I've lived in the same house my entire life. I was born and raised in West Hempstead. Very white town.
Where's West Hempstead?
That's why I was just going. Let me talk. I'm literally on the border. I have Garden City literally right to the left of me, and to the right of me is Hempstead. So I'm right in the middle. Granted, I'm more towards the Garden City side and the white side. But I grew up around white people. I went to white private schools. Having my master's, getting my second master's. I am a guidance counselor where I used to go to. I'm also an assistant soccer and wrestling coach there. Okay. So growing up, I was always.
What else?
Come on, smart Black man. Come on. He said a second master's, ladies and gentlemen.
What do you mean? What else?
I was being smart.
And I used to be the type of kid, since I was always around Black people. I'm sorry, white people. This goes the same before. I never used to really always voice my opinion. Sometimes I would be silent and disagree silently, but that's agreeing if you're not speaking up. And that's part of why I have started to speak up, and I'm going to continue to speak up, because I can no longer sit there and be silent, because my silence is telling them that it's okay to see the world like this and be racist, even if it's not blatantly being racist, like calling someone an N-word, but like this, just assuming, oh, I'm Black and I play sports. Oh, do you play basketball? 85% of the time in my life, that's always the first sport that comes is, you play basketball? No, I play soccer. I did play basketball, but soccer was my sport. Like, or, thinking I didn't go to a private school because of my color and things like that. Or I was always called white Black as growing up my entire life. Because of how I guess the things I'm interested in, how I carry myself, the way I speak. But anyway, I was going to the conversation. What were we talking about? What was the thing?
Somebody tried to debate you.
Oh yeah, about so he was trying to talk to me, and he just kept trying to he was trying to push the idea that white people have it just as hard as black people. And he threw out some ignorant things. And I was showing Jamil earlier today, and
I couldn't even finish the conversation. He was showing me the conversation and on his phone. I couldn't even focus on it.
If we went through this whole conversation, we could honestly spend 24 hours probably on these topics because they're just such bizarre and it's crazy. And I was honest, Jamil was like, yo, you have a lot of patience because I have a lot of white people like messaging me and trying to debate with me about it or apologize to me. I'm trying to teach the ones that are debating with me like,
can you give us a snippet of how that conversation went?
I'm going to, but I was trying to be a little more patient and teach these people. But like, so anyway, this kid continues to try to throw in that it's harder for white people. He's like, well, look at laws put in actions to help black people and give them advantages. And my first thing I said, and the only thing I really need to say is, why are those things put in place? Like, why was affirmative action put in place? Because people didn't want to hire black people. People are racist. So yeah, advantages, but we are given advantages because we live in a racist world. If you take the racism away, no one needs advantages. You know, you take all the racism, the sexism, being homophobic, no one needs any advantages, but we have a world that looks at people differently. Mainly white men look at women differently, people of color differently, people who like people of the same sex or people who feel uncomfortable in their body and want to express it, you know, they are seen as different. And he was trying to say that these laws put in place to help these certain type of people make it racist against whites. And like, I don't even know how to like.
The oppressed, by definition, cannot be racist.
Like, and this not even the, like, he said another thing. He said this. So he said, don't you think classism comes into play? You know, so he brought up a good point at first, but it's still not really relevant. He said, you know, if someone goes to court, you know, they're going to want to be in a suit other than raggedy clothes and yada, yada. I'm like, yes, but what does that have to do with racism? Then he goes, well, look at Jay-Z and Beyonce. You're going to get a kicker out of this one. People aren't racist to them. They have money. He really said that. He really tried to tell me that people are not racist to Jay-Z and Beyonce because they have money. Oh, what fucking world are you living in?
And what did I say? I said, then why did Jay-Z create Tidal? Why is his dollar still not equal? Why are we still fighting for black rights in certain...
Like, that's when I really just wanted to stop, but I really tried to be a better person, and I was trying to educate him to open his ignorant eyes, because...
Oprah has videos where she talks about being Oprah and still being discriminated against. She talks about it. And she gives like multiple examples. And everybody knows Oprah, just like everybody knows Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right.
And she still gets discriminated against in stores. Like she can't buy the whole fucking store like 10 times over.
So wait, so this is the last point I'm gonna bring up for this conversation. So just sit back and get ready for this one, because this is gonna He said, don't you think black fathers leaving their families is a bigger problem than racism for you guys?
For you guys.
Well, he didn't say you guys. I didn't. That was my part. I just didn't say black people again.
I'm like, that's racist right there.
But like, and at that point,
how did you answer? Ooh, how did you answer? Could you answer
what I think? But you know, like, yo,
say it again.
I was gonna say this kid is A, but I'm not even gonna say what I want to say because I'm not. It's just.
I was about to say like. You should. Ooh.
Did you respond?
I forget what
I would have been like, how the fuck do you think black fellas left the fucking household? Let's start the fuck there before you want to start asking those things.
No, so I think what I said is, do white fathers leave their homes? And then I said, it's not that it's black fathers, it's how the world looks at black fathers who leave their homes and how they ignore the fact that white men leave their home too, and they don't judge them the same way they judge black men.
Over.
Because if a black man leaves his family, he's seen as a deadbeat. Whereas a white man leaves his family, it's like he probably just left her for another girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he went and started another family. Okay,
that's
the rhetoric is always different for them.
That's the route.
Like I was watching.
Still gave me another rebuttal. Like
it's excused,
and it's just like what
like white people always get the yes, but
exactly.
They always get the yes, but some things can't be excused. some things cannot be excused, period. And like in response to your ignorant ass, hopefully ex-friend.
Yeah, no, I don't, not associate
like,
that.
in response to him, and just that last statement alone, and what did I say to you earlier? Long Island, where we're from, we have
epidemic
a bigger statistic than Black people here, in drug use,
yes,
and gangs,
parents, mom and dads doing opioids,
like broken homes. Like, don't let the Hamptons fool you.
Garden City. When I was in high school, the dad ordered a hit on the mom. Like, this should be happening in these towns. And
ordered a hit?
Yeah. The kid was in high school with me. I think he was like 2 years younger than me. Like, on their way to school, I heard this shit on the radio. Like,
that's insane.
That's a whole nother podcast. We're not even gonna listen.
White family.
So,
well, go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask you. So, like, Jamal, like, what about you? Like, where are you from? Like, what kind of business? Like, well, you said you're in corporate. And Jared, what do you do? I know.
I'm in the mental health field. I'm a guidance counselor.
Oh, and you said at the same place you went, right?
Yes. I want to open a private practice eventually. That's the goal. Go back, get my doctorate.
He wants me to hire him when I open my school, guys.
And teach that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even gonna go there.
That's the entrepreneurial episode. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Can I do a plug real quick?
Oh Lord.
Let me just do a plug real quick. I should have had this guy in the creativity and artistry episode. This guy's a talent. This is the dude, Jared. I played you his song. Remember, I was like, my friend from LA.
I fuck with that song heavy.
Yo, Good Life. I'm telling you, everybody go download Good Life by Jamal Lamont. I forgot I played it for him. He was like, "Yo, who was that?" I was like, "It's my friend in LA."
Bro, I remember that.
Kelly, I support. We gonna have a creativity and artistry episode part 2, and you coming on. You're gonna be singing live. We already about to put that together. No, I'm telling you, bro. So that's my shameless plug. Download Jamal Lamont on all streaming platforms. Good Life.
Yes, please do. Yes, Jamal Lamont everywhere.
Right. So who are you? Where are you from? It's like
I am from Maryland. I was born and raised in a place called Columbia. It's right outside of Baltimore. So the place I grew up in is actually a very affluent place. Howard County, Maryland is one of like the richest counties.
I was gonna say, I believe that was like on the top 10 list, wasn't it?
Actually one of the richest
counties. Like in 2009 or 2010 or something like that.
Yeah.
So my hometown was too. It was number 10. Uniondale was on there. That's how I know that.
Yeah, Howard County. It's a good county. It's definitely a good county. In my particular neighborhood, I grew up with a lot of mixed kids. So I've seen a lot of white. I've seen a lot of Black. That's a lot of what I went to school with. Mixed kids, white kids, of course, are the majority. But I've seen a little bit of everything. I don't know where I'm going from that. But
going into your life.
Grew up in an affluent county, sang all my life, went to school for music. Went to school in Maryland, a school called South.
How was because I did the arts as well. I did drama all up until my freshman year in college. How was your experience in the arts with racism, if any? Or with race? I won't say racism, but with race. How was your experience with that?
I think there were definitely some challenges going to undergrad and being a music major. Because again, I feel like in most situations with Black people, we're always like the minority. So like people get you, but they may not get you.
Right.
I feel like
they don't understand.
Yeah. And I feel like just with any subject or any topic that you learn in school, like you learn a lot about like white history and like what like white contribution has brought to whatever subject you're studying. So I definitely would say college, like sophomore year is when I started to become conscious, if you will. And just it all caught up to me, like learning so much white history. And I mean, granted, like I learned history of my own and like they did teach like other kinds of history, of course, but like that always being the primary history that we learned. And then I just feel like, I don't know, like people couldn't relate to me. Like there was only so many people in the program, and like, I don't know, I just had like different issues that they didn't have. Like, of course,
do you mind
racism
telling
was
us where you went to school?
Say it again.
Do you mind telling us where you went to school?
Yeah, Towson University.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's in Baltimore as well, Baltimore County.
So, I'm sorry, I'm just like, because I really relate to a lot of what you're saying, and I know some people won't consider Baltimore the South.
Yeah, but it is and it isn't. Yeah, I mean,
it's not
below the Mason-Dixon line. Maryland is.
So I lived in Virginia for 7 years and went to middle school and most of my high school career in the South. So I honestly feel like that plays a big role onto what we're taught. It's not even a feeling. It plays a role in what we're taught and how we're taught history. Because I didn't realize I was only being taught history from the Southern point of view until I went back to New York for my last year in high school.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
I mean, we were taught, like, of course, everybody's taught about slavery, and Maryland has like a lot of like slavery highlights. Like Harriet Tubman was born and raised in Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like Sojourner Truth, like like so like things like that are like, you know, like like the hallmark racism moments, like because it's Maryland. But like I don't know.
Does that excuse it though? Because it's Maryland?
No, not at all. But I guess, I mean, to that point of like talking about it being like a Southern state, like, we have a lot of Southern qualities, but and a lot of people that have never been to Maryland and may like have met me for the first time may think I'm kind of Southern, and I understand that, but I'm like, nah, not really. I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle. Like
no, y'all are somewhere in the middle. Like I definitely had friends from Maryland and Baltimore, and still have friends and family in Maryland and Baltimore. You guys don't have a Southern like mentality, but there's a Southern love. There's like a Southern spirit. There's a Southern spirit.
Yeah, even like we're kind of like mannerable. At least my family and the people I was raised with, like we're all like really mannerable in a certain way. Yes sir, no sir. Like some people here be like, why do you say all of that? I'm just like, I'm just being polite. Like
that's Southern.
It's not like I'm being extra. It's just like how I was raised. Like I'll get backhanded for not saying like yes, as opposed to like or like, you know, like shit like that. Like it's very much Southern. Like if you don't say sir or yes.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember having an experience with a white teacher who wanted to get me in trouble, or told me I was going to get in trouble if I don't say ma'am. I was like, I wasn't raised like that. Like I'm not being disrespectful. Like I wasn't raised to say ma'am, or like I was told that would be rude. Like I would get smacked for saying ma'am, because then somebody think you're being funny.
Yeah.
Like I was taught to say yes or no, and that was very respectful. I wasn't taught to say nah, yeah. I was taught to say yes, no, maybe so.
With me, when I was a kid, if it was authority, especially if it was like Black authority, like a grandma, an auntie, an uncle.
Yeah.
Yes sir, no sir.
Without a question.
Yeah, if they have that certain level, my parents like raised me with a certain amount of respect for like elderly people or people before you. So like those words are just like respectful. So that's how I was raised. So I guess like, that's some Southern stuff for you. I don't always do that now, because like sometimes I feel like I'm giving.
It's like code switching a little bit, no?
Yeah, well, like I'm not gonna give you too much yes sir, no sir, because I feel like sometimes I'm giving you too much respect. I don't know. I have a thing with that too. Like, I'll give you a certain amount of respect, just like cordially, but you gotta earn your respect.
Right. I understand that. I understand, like there's like a mutual level of respect or a general level of respect that you'll give to any human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to earn the respect of, you know, a insightful exchange or a personal exchange. At least for me, and Jared, you know this about me as well. It's like if I don't feel there's any energy being exchanged, I'm gonna say something, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. Real quick, guys. It said we had 10 minutes. I didn't realize that there's a pro situation now. I used to be on here for hours. But apparently when there's more than one, but we'll come back on because there's a couple things I do want to talk to you guys about. So I'll edit all this good stuff out. But we got 9 minutes. I'll tell you guys in like a minute, so we don't have to like cut our conversation, and then we'll hop back.
Yep.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So as far as like the I've come to call it an uprising. I don't want to call it a movement or I mean I don't mind the word movement, but I've just said I've come to call it an uprising. I don't want to talk about
what we kind of defined it as earlier. If you're writing a book, this is going to be
mini chapters.
This is a series. This is a series that's been going on for centuries. But what's happening now is going to be something that has its own few books about, because I think that, well, you really said that, and I agree that what's happening now is going to be it's a big outcome of things that have happened in the past, because this movement really has already begun, but now there's a very deep scar, and it's going to be slow, but I do think that this is a big moment now, because people are finally acknowledging it and stepping up and not just saying he wasn't complying or, you know, he was doing his job. Like, people are outright saying, no, this dude murdered him. Like, it was murder.
Right.
Yeah.
There's lack of excuse. Right now. But in reference to like the uprising, again, we touched on earlier, this is my first time being involved. How have you guys, if at all, how have you guys been involved? Jamal, I'll go.
Okay, so both of y'all said that this was your first protest.
Yeah.
This isn't my first protest. Back when I was in Towson, I was a vice president of the Black Student Union. And at that time, I don't know if y'all heard about it. I'm sure y'all did. But at that time, we had a white student union trying to be formed on our campus. And that was like a big thing on the news. And we were
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because there's not many schools that tried to do that.
Lord have mercy. So yeah, that was Towson. And that was a time where me and my line brother, we were in term. And man, like it was some bullshit. I'm gonna say it was bullshit. First and foremost, I mean, thankfully the university was not behind it. One, because in order to be behind a group, you have to have an advisor backing you. Yes. So no professor on campus would back that shit, first and foremost. Secondly, it was like borderline hate. Like, they try to say they weren't a hate group, but they very much were a hate group. Like, they will be around campus with signs that say, like, Muslims are terrorists and shit like that. I almost fought one time.
What?
I saw the sign and, like, I, like, almost just, like, went off. Because I'm just like, dude, like, that's not cool. Even if you do think that, like, you're fucking wrong. First and foremost, you're fucking wrong. Secondly, there are a lot of Muslim people on this campus, and you're just making them uncomfortable for nothing. But I protested then. Like, we started, like, a separate organization, and, like, we did, like, marches and stuff around the campus. But in general, I'm not a big fan.
A separate organization to go against.
So
uprising. But
I was a part of the Black Student Union, but we set another organization just in the name of, like, love and positivity. Yeah. Pretty much to counteract the white student union. That
bullshit.
Yeah. So pretty much we had the whole campus on our side because like people like, this is stupid. Like, some white people were like, why can't we have a white student union? And then, like, once it was explained to them, like, hey, the reason why you don't have a white student union is because you are the fucking majority.
I said, you are, like, we have to have this.
The reason why we have a Black student union, the reason why we have, like, LASSO, which is a Latin student union, you know, you had, like, Filipino, all of that shit.
I was gonna say, you have the Asian culture clubs. Yeah. Like, you have a lot of things.
Have representation, like, proper representation. Like, white people are properly represented all day, every day. So,
by 43 presidents.
It didn't take much for people to understand that, or it didn't seem like it did. So, like, yeah, but as far as,
they truly didn't know. It's about intention.
It's not. It's the ignorance, though. It's thinking that you don't see it's not that you don't see the color. You think that, hey, why do Black people get to do this and we don't get to do this? And they don't
when you are truly aloof to the fact, or you're truly naive to it, I think no, it's not an excuse because your parents should have taught you the same way racism is taught. You have to educate and not avoid these topics.
You're either racist or you're racist through ignorance. Like it's
true. Like that's the conversation that group of people were having in front of us today. Did you hear that conversation?
No, yeah, you told me. I was completely
so it was the same group but a separate conversation. No, separate group. So right after that, there were we were on a boardwalk, Jamal, and when we were walking, there was this young group of kids, all white.
Hold on, because it's 3 minutes. Are we going to hang up and dial back in?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Keep them
going. At 1 minute, we're going to do that.
All right, cool. All
right. Oh, you guys got the timer on your side too?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, okay. So there was this group of students I'm such a fucking teacher. There's this group of kids in front of us who were just talking about, their experience this and saying, oh yeah, I hate that doesn't make sense. But what caught my ear was that they started saying that every white person is a little racist. And when I started hearing that, I'm like, okay, tread lightly, because he was saying it in jest, but I got his intention behind.
I get where he is.
Because he was educating another person that was with him. He was like, well, we can't not be racist. We all have a little bit in us. We can only want to be better. I was like,
but that's
fucking real.
That's a lot for white people to actually acknowledge, because then they grasp that racism is engraved within our society.
I say, and that touches on education in the home.
It's exactly, you learn it through teaching or direct teaching or modeling by your parents, seeing your parents.
But hold on though, white people don't necessarily have to teach their kids that.
Well, that's what they don't teach it, but they see it.
I mean, they should actually. They should have to. But in reality, like, they don't have the same conversations that we have in Black homes. Like, I have.
No, they don't. Right, the preventative and cautionary conversations. Absolutely.
I've had sit downs with my parents where they be like, okay, if you get pulled over by cops, this is what you do, step by step. Like, we played out scenarios in my home. So, like, I know white people don't have to go through that shit because they talk shit to the cops sometimes. They be going the fuck off. And Black people do too, but we don't have the same. We don't get the same
luxury.
We don't have white privilege.
Yeah, I've protested before. I was saying I'm not a big protester now, and the reason being is, I do feel like it is our amendment right to speak our minds, to be able to emote with people,
right?
With groups of people. I think it is very important, and it does serve a purpose. However, I don't think it serves enough purpose. I think at the end of the day, legislation has to be changed. At the end of the day, you got to be hitting your law offices. I think that's what makes the changes at the end of the day. Again, I understand being mad. I even understand the looting, even though, like, I'm not completely in favor of it. I understand it. I get it.
Right.
You have people that are mad, angry, upset. Ain't no telling how they're gonna react to a certain situation, especially if they're in groups of people.
Energy is everything. Like, that is contagious. Like, that anger will trigger somebody else's anger. Like, I
saw it. I saw it on Saturday. It was like it started off cool. It started off with just the tagging, just like spray painting, because we were marching in the streets. Traffic was stopped, so they were like literally spray painting the buses and shit. So I'm like, okay, cool, like. And then, like, it went from that to, like, cop cars being on fire. Like, literally, it was 3 cop cars on fire in the matter of 2 blocks.
Right.
All 3 of them on fire. So, like, your emotions can go from 0 to, like, 1,200.
I even had the art reader on here before, and she's in Long Beach, and she was posting it's just as crazy.
Yeah. But I did decide to protest because, man, at the end of the week last week, I just felt so uneasy, so restless, and I had saw like a few posts about like people protesting on Saturday, There were 3 separate protests, one 8:30, one 12, one 3 o'clock. And I woke up Saturday morning, I was like, I need to go. I need to go to one of these protests. So I saw that my neighbor, she had posted it, and then I had commented, and she was like, yeah, I don't have anybody to go with. So I'm like, bump, great. I mean, you as a female, I'm not going to let you go out by yourself. So I'm like, you made the decision with me. I'm glad I went just to experience, just to make noise with people, just to feel like I'm doing something. Outside of that, like I'm working on like some love music. I'm also working on a project right now that my friend asked me to be a part of. She's just trying to get like people's reactions and like how people have been dealing with this whole thing.
I just did a whole episode on that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
it's important to know, like, or it's important for me, it's important to ask because, and I hope I'm not taking away from what you were going into. Like,
no. I think I could be doing more. I've been like away from social media. I'm kind of in, kind of not. I feel like I can be a little bit more active with social media. But the way I am, like the way I support my Black people, like I don't like to talk so much about it. I like to be about it. So like outside of the protest, like I work downtown and there's a lot of homeless people downtown. Like I like to buy food for them. Like I walk around during lunch break. If somebody asks me for lunch or asks me for a few dollars, I might just give them a few dollars. But a lot of times, like I'm like, yo, you need some food? Like I'll grab you. You know, stuff, some
that's
chips,
my question to them.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
like,
you need food?
I like
you want some food?
Yeah, I like to like be up, and I do that like pretty often. Like I do that a few times a week. So it's like nothing for me to do that, but I make sure it's my people. Like I feel like that's a way of helping, other than just running your mouth on Instagram.
That's involvement.
It's like
it is
money where your mouth is. I'd rather do that or like donate my time. For a long time here, I was even donating downtown at a soup kitchen, just a few hours, like once or twice a month. It's nothing, but I feel like now I should be doing more, even with like the protesting. Like again, I'm not a big protester, but tomorrow, like my friend, he posted a picture about like calling offices and letting them know how you feel. So I'm definitely going to call the Minnesota office tomorrow and be like, hey, this is how I feel as a Black man. This has been my experience with the police. This is how I carry myself.
I'll forward you a protest as well. We got not a protest, but a what's the word I'm looking for, Jared? Petition. We got sent a petition as well.
Please send me that.
Yeah, I'll send you the information for that as well. One of our friends sent that to us earlier. A few people actually sent it to me, and by time I got to it after I got back from the protest, it was deleted apparently.
Yeah, so was mine.
Yeah, there was a lot of there was information being posted about who to call, who to email, and gave you like a letter, a general outline of a letter and how to word your email to the specific people in the community that you needed to reach out to.
Yeah, please.
And it specifically was for the officers to be held on charges.
Okay, please send me that. Yeah, that's how I like to take action. It's like the little things for me. Like I don't do like grandiose big things.
But that's your perception of little.
I guess. But
that's something I want to talk about too, because when you don't, I'll say this. For me, I'm gonna let you finish because this is gonna be a whole thing. Go ahead, brother.
That's all I was saying. Like, I don't know. I just always been that way. Like, yes, you talk your talk, but you walk your walk. And I've always been about walking my walk, no matter who sees or who acknowledges it. Like, as long as I'm doing it and know that I'm doing it for something good, then that's fine with me. But I'm not like a hey, see me kind of person. So that's why you won't see me all the time on Instagram knowing what the fuck I'm doing, because I'm just doing it. And then if I happen to post it or if I happen to like
share it,
show it, then so be it. but like I just like to live my life just like trying to be the good person that I am. And that's it. That's all I was saying. So,
but I feel like that's exactly what we're calling for, and that's why like that's just like when we talk about the Blackout Tuesday, I like it, but I don't like it because we want you not to just express it, but continue to educate yourself and be about it. Not in 5 months when this guy gets acquitted, we're done. Black people go back to fighting this fight, and white people go back to their normal lives.
yeah.
Non-black people.
Non-black, yeah.
So that's like something. Okay, so in response to what both of you guys are saying, honestly, like, so for me, a lot of.
And hold on. One more thing. Sorry. One more thing real quick. And I try to hold people to task, honestly. And even at work when I don't like to do it, like if you talk to me about current events and you go ahead and sneak in a topic like this, I'm going to let you know how I feel. And I'm going to let you know if you're wrong. And I'm going to let you know if you need to change your actions. So don't do that to me at work because I'm going to let you know. But I try my best to refrain from at work because then I start to get emotional. Yeah. And then people start seeing a different side of Jamal, and I'm always trying to keep it like professional. I'm always me. Don't get me wrong. Like,
but there's a certain courtesy you give to the work environment.
Like, I'm always me, but like I don't want to be like too much Jamal and I think as a black person we always be like I don't want to do too much,
I went through the same thing today. I went through that today. I had to tell my white coworkers like, hey, I'm still processing this. I can't have this conversation with you right now. Like this isn't a topic that I'm willing to touch on in this environment right now. Cause in my head, I'm like, cause I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I might go over there and be some man. It's like, nah.
But some stupid shit. Like I have a lot of decorum, so like I tend to keep calm. But sometimes, like, I might just snap back, and then
that's a fact. That's why I'm very conscious of my negative thoughts and my negative energy. So if I feel that something is not going to be positive,
it's just real.
No, but for me, that it turns into negativity because we're not having an exchange anymore. Now I'm yelling at you. Now it's not a conversation. Now I'm angry and getting off my balance. That's why it's negative to me because it's fucking me up.
Yeah.
While you over there just like, oh my God, this black man's so angry. I don't get it. Like that's what it would have been for me today. That's where my mind was. But what I wanted to say in response to really your story and the experiences you have of protesting and being involved and even holding people to task, like most of my life, I'll start as a child. My mother is mixed, very fair skin, like has a brighter complexion than I do. And this light's brightening me right now. So I'm just saying.
It's okay. We call it in all shapes. It's okay. All shapes, right. all shades and colors.
But that's to my point though. It's like, so I grew up with a very fair skinned mother and I grew up with a very dark father. Like my father has a very chocolate deep complexion. Like I've always said my father has some of the most nicest skin ever. And it's just like this rich, deep chocolate. It's like espresso. I don't know. It's just whatever. So him growing up as a native black man, always wanted to give me the education from a black man to another young black man. But was I able to hear him and listen? Was I able to retain that? Was I able to understand growing up in a house with a white grandfather, growing up in a house with a fair mother, and people that don't, in a half Puerto Rican cousin, and this whole mix-up family is taught to not see color. How can I then be comfortable with seeing a color and then either going against it or helping it out? Does that make sense? Like, how can I be comfortable if I'm not being taught on every level. So that was me growing up, and I didn't realize what color was until I moved down south and experienced racism. Until I experienced institutional racism, systematic racism, personal racism. Until I experienced multi-levels of racism, I'm like, oh shit. I'm not Jamil. I'm the black kid that acts white. I'm the kid that's cool with all the white people.
Yeah.
I'm the black kid. I'm the black, again, Jared, black white kid.
I've gotten that before.
I'm not black enough for my black friends and I'm not white enough for my white friends. So I'm just either the black person that's cool with all the white people, or I'm the cool black guy who's not too threatening, who's not, like, who doesn't sag his pants too well, who can pass and who talks properly. Huh?
You were a good one.
I was good enough for them. I was a good one.
Good one, exactly. He's a good one of them. Don't worry. He's
right. Like, oh, he can come around. He knows how to speak in proper sentences, like that. And that was very much that. So, like, that was my experience. And then growing up and out of it into now being a senior in high school and back in New York and not having all that culture with me. You know what I mean? Like having what their experiences and what their New York experience was, and me versus me having this Southern experience didn't prepare me for what was a strong Black community. Right. Like I couldn't connect until now. And it's not saying I didn't know I was Black. I'm not saying I didn't like support the Black community, but to touch on topics in which I wasn't sure of would have been a lie, which is why I said earlier, I'm guilty of making the post but not continuing the fight. And I said this to Jared today. The fight, this is my first of many. I can no longer be silent. I made a Facebook post earlier with the videos from the march and all. Like you guys both know this about me. I'm very spiritual. I lead with my intuition. I lead with my spirit, and my spirit my guides just told me I can no longer be silent. And I'm now understanding what that means.
Yes.
What it means to be pro-Black and not anti-white.
Yes, that's...
like I'm now understanding over the past few years of how I needed to contribute to myself first. And then I can speak up and speak out and contribute to the community that I am a part of and want to help. Yeah. And get insight from and talk to and exchange with, i.e. this conversation.
I agree. And I felt the same way, and that's why I started speaking up. Like, I used to have my cousin dates this girl who was very, very pro-Black. And I used to think she's like just way too
white?
No, she's Black.
Oh,
but she's a Black, very like pro-Black person. Mm-hmm. And like, I just don't think she's that super. I think she's just pro-Black. You can't be, you can be too pro-Black when you get to the point where, you think that, I think personally that thinking that Black people shouldn't marry out of their race can be that point. But I also think that, yes, it is good for Black people to marry other Black people.
So where was your mindset in that moment of experiencing her?
In this moment, it's that, I used to always say.
In that moment.
In the past?
Yeah.
I used to think she's like way too pro-Black, but like I don't think there's a.
And what did that mean to you then?
That she.
Like she just went too hard, or like she just wore crazy
there's
stuff?
No need for the things she was doing, but like you need to be everything that you can. You need to be doing everything that you can.
And that's in hindsight.
If you're not doing it, how do you expect other people to do it, especially white people who are not being it? And that's really when I came up to my wake-up call. Whenever I really first made that video, and I was just like, I can't be silent. I need to be Black, and being Black, not even pro-Black, and being Black, you are going to support your.
I felt the same thing.
Yes, yes.
I felt the same.
It was just something. Something just saying.
I had an awakening.
Period.
Yeah.
I had an awakening that I can't sit still anymore. I need to move. I need to move my body. I need to support this cause. I need to be with my people, for my people, fighting for my people, and.
Yeah,
that's it. That part. Like, I like. It's funny that we all feel this, or felt that same call to just not be silent, and to exchange in this moment, honestly, and to allow ourselves to be unapologetically Black. Because I was never that.
I agree.
I'll be very honest with you. I may have. I don't know if I consciously or out loud physically said I'm unapologetically Black, but I know in hindsight I wasn't. And now I can say in the past few years, and especially now today, I'm unapologetically Black.
100%.
I am not fearful of having an exchange that may offend. We've been oppressed and offended for
my skin matters
years.
more than your fucking opinion.
Yeah.
And that is never going to change from now on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I used to be scared to offend, but now I'm like, yo.
I get that.
I feel like we've been taught to like tiptoe so much.
Especially as Black men. As Black men, we're taught to don't speak up too loud. You're gonna be seen as angry.
They keep us down. The systematic racism by continuing to acquit cops, by allowing a Black man to be lynched in the middle of the street, by allowing these Karens and Amy Coopers to call police on Black people for no reason. They continue to say we are devalued and keep us down.
Yeah.
And
even in the spiritual community, like there's been an uprising now. They're calling people to work under the full moon. They calling people.
I was about to ask you that if it was appropriate. Like, what, as a spiritual person that you are, like, what do you do on that end? Like, is there anything you can do on that end, or you just like?
So what we're doing as spiritual workers, healers, light workers, witches, wizards, whatever have you, whatever spiritual path you're in, what we're being called to do is what we call community service work, or community work. It's basically petitioning to our guides or whoever you believe in the universe for an uplifting of these certain people, if you have certain people, or we're being called to like today, I was ready to sage the whole thing. I had my whole spiritual pack and everything. I had my
It had sage on Saturday. I thought it was lovely.
Yo, I was ready.
It was burning. I was like, yeah, come on.
Sage that away. But in the spiritual community, well, I'll speak on myself. That's what I've been seeing in the community. But right now, specifically, there's been a call to arms to work under the full moon on Friday and just say affirmations. Like, you guys can do it as well. Like, it's just to affirm a positive outcome, to affirm protection against the protesters, to affirm, a voice to be heard, and things of that nature. So that's one thing we are going to do. I've been seeing spread around in the groups that I'm in, on my Instagram, Facebook and whatnot. So that has been going around. And all in all, for those listening and those watching, if you consider yourself spiritual anyway, a positive word is all we need right now. That will go just such a long way. Intention is everything. Yeah. You don't need a whole, I'll keep it funky. You don't need a piece of paper. Go get a paper towel and write something on there. Go get a napkin and write something on there. You don't got a napkin, write it in your phone and just pray to whoever you believe in. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's all about intention. Yeah. Like, there's no difference, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. But there's no difference between a 7-day candle, a candle that looks like this, or a taper candle. It's about intention. Some people are like, oh, I need this, I need that. Maybe if you feel that you do what you feel, people. And what we are feeling to do is fight.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm feeling to fight.
Well, look, can I request something? Can you just go ahead and like put a candle or some shit on the president? Or whatever you say or do. Don't kill the man.
Listen, I'm not going to confirm nor deny that on the podcast. I'm not
where he can't be there no more. Just look, I ain't gonna say how to do it. Just do it.
Get the job done.
Throw holy water on something and just make it go away. Woo, come on, because this man in the office.
Yeah, number 45 gotta go. Did y'all see that shit about him going into the bunker, and that's the first time it's been used in the history of presidency?
Yep.
This is the first time. Wait, maybe not the history of presidency. It's like the first time in 100 years.
First time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was embellishing, but for the the White House went black.
And he said if they come there, that he's gonna gun us down. Like he said, we step on the law and it'd be met with force.
He's fucking sick. Okay, so before we even see what you did, Jamal. So with all that being said,
wait, I still didn't get to talk about my first riot experience.
Your first what experience?
Protesting experience, should I say? Not riot, protesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that was you had. Okay,
was
my
looting?
Bad.
He was looting.
Wait,
That's what he's telling us. He was looting. He was painting and breaking glasses. And come on, tell us. I ain't judging you. I'm with you, brother. I'm not judging.
I'm gonna put a mask on. I don't know who the fuck I am. But anyway, so when I first got there today, I was with Jamil. We were with this other kid we work from and his family. My very first thoughts were, this is depressing. You know, seeing us fighting the same battle that we've been fighting.
Wait. So you're saying today was your first protest too?
Yes, yeah. And my very first thought when I got there was, this is depressing.
Whose phone is that?
That's mine. I'm like, we are really fighting the same battle we've been fighting for centuries. And it changed, and I was very proud to see people there, a lot of white people there. I was proud to see the enthusiasm. I was proud to see the acknowledgement and them expressing their opinion, but it was still there also, you know, a few months, this is going to die down. It's just going to be us again fighting our battle, and us black people that, you know, where is it going with this? I just completely lost my train of thought.
First experience of today.
So it was very ambivalent feeling. And Jamil and I were talking about this, how I don't have any faith in our country because look what they've been doing, you know, like they continue to treat us the same way, and they are allowed to treat us the same way.
Yeah. And
I had a conversation with my friend a few days before, you know, and she was trying to tell me, well, you need to have a little hope, you know, a little hope for our country. And I was actually just talking to her again, and, you know, and Jamil was saying too, you know, and it is right, you know, I do need to have hope. And I think that now, you know.
What did I say though? Not hope in the country or faith in the country, but faith in the.
Yeah, and you know, I really just now really kind of did change my whole view on it, and it's not really depressing. You know, it's not. It can be sad, but it's not depressing because you know what, I have hope that hopefully, you know, my kids, as you said, you will get a glimpse of it. You know, I'm not gonna go into being realistic, but you know what, I'm gonna have hope that hopefully they can. And hopefully our then grandkids can live.
You know why I'm so big on hope in this situations? Because you know me very well. We manifest what we are.
So that's exactly where I was gonna go. I said it to this girl. I said, I'm going to start manifesting hope in this because as you said it too, you know, it is gonna change my perspective. You know, I was looking at it as in no faith in the country, but instead of looking at it, I still have no faith in the country. Don't get me wrong.
Right, that part.
Okay, let's
what we were built on.
Let's be very real about exactly how our country is built and structured.
Can we talk about that real quick about like using like certain words? Because y'all talking about like speaking hope and like speaking good things. So personally for me, like I don't say things like, you know, the common phrase like I can't breathe, or like, not to pick on you, like nothing's changed, or like other phrases that like, oh, if it was a black person, then that will happen, or if it was a white person, that will happen. I think that words carry so much weight, and for us to be able to advance on, if we're steadily saying, oh, if that was a white person that got pulled over by the cops, oh, he would have got a slap on the wrist. But if it was a black person, he would have got shot. I feel like we continuously speak it into existence in a way too. That's just my personal way of thinking.
Yeah.
You agree, and I know a lot of people wouldn't agree. A lot of people just say what they're saying is real, which is fine. But I just don't think speaking like that is productive. I don't. So I think we have to be intentional about how we speak about our situation.
I think
even if you think that you are being real, just take a second back and be like, can I rephrase that? Or can I deal with not saying that? Because it's a hypothetical anyways. So you don't make a hypothetical come true by you constantly saying and constantly thinking a certain way. I don't know. That's just me. And that's just my whole thing with the law of attraction. So
I agree, but I think that also starts with, educating them. And we need to start with the youth now. If we can educate them to not label it like that and, not to be racist, that's how change is going to be made. But that's also going to have to include people outside of racist parents, teachers. This is going to racist parents are going to do what racist parents do, and they're going to moderate racism, and they're going to. But if we as a country, we as teachers, we as mental health workers, we as physical health workers, we as what else is there? Cops, as people who serve, people who lawyers, judges. If we all embody it and embody equality and stop labeling this language in that way, that can happen. I can see it happen. But I think they're also on the other end, kind of goes back to not having a lot of faith. Like they're just.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely get it. I'm just saying for me personally. And I feel like other people could adopt it too.
I do.
It's a process. It's growth.
It's definitely a process. I'm not saying it's easy. I think we,
right.
as a people,
I think that's a language that needs to be adopted.
Yeah, I think we should challenge ourselves to speak better about our situation.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that I'm that guy in Jared's corner. Like
that's fine. Look, that's fine. That is completely fine. But I don't know. That's just me. Like in some moments, yes, you just got to be real and just say what the fuck it is, or like how a situation probably would play out. But I don't know. I'm just a devil advocate kind of person. Anyway.
I don't think that. So this is my opinion. I don't think that's you playing devil's advocate. I would say.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that's devil advocate, but I would
say the total opposite, honestly, because I would say I would be Jared playing devil's advocate. Like, oh yeah, so it's not going to change, right? Like we don't have a. But when you challenge somebody to change their mindset or their phrase, I don't think that's playing devil's advocate at all. I actually think that's something that's very.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think it is because you're absolutely right. I think that we do need to do that. I think that is going to be hard because in order to do that, we're going to need to stop doing it and educate the youth that this used to be done, but we need to stop doing it and we need to stop labeling it as have been being done, so then we can kind of just eliminate that completely. Yeah. But that takes a lot of time.
I think it's going to start with us seeing the change first, and not to pick on you, but a lot of people, and you've come to a conclusion or a new perception within the conversation. So a lot of people haven't yet been able to have the conversation and say, oh, maybe my perception does need to change.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
but that also comes to the point.
I feel like a lot of people will argue with me. They probably will argue me down, especially because we live in a society that is very emotional. In my opinion, like we are very emotional, and I'm about to go in a whole nother situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are very emotional. The society we live in now, like, so we easily say what's on our mind, and if people don't agree,
we don't.
But also, we're.
So no, I think it's one or the other. Like you have the total emotional people who go totally introverted, who don't want to express their emotions. And then you have the other people who overly express.
Okay.
And I think that's where it gets toxic.
I think more has to do with mindset. You have people who are open-minded, close-minded. We're all open-minded. I get why people are angry about the looting and people being burned down, and it's not people, but things being burned down. Like I get it, and I get why cops are angry. But what a lot of people don't and fail to get, because they're not open-minded, they're seeing it from these people are causing destruction. They think it's all happening because this one black person died. It's not just one black person died. There's a reason that people are acting out whether positive or in a negative way, there is a legitimate reason behind why there is a movement and why people are either acting out peacefully or violent. And there are many closed-minded people who refuse to accept that there's a reason, and they only see the action. But every behavior has a consequence, and these are the consequences of not just one.
What actions are you choosing to focus on? Is my question. That's my.
But that's not even. I get yours, but my point is like they're focusing on only one thing because they're closed-minded.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, that's like, what the fuck are you focusing on?
Like, and I get why they're angry, and I get why cops are mad. I get it because I am open-minded. I see it from both sides, and that's what I'm trying to educate other people, especially these white people like I've been debating with, like trying to educate them.
But you also can't expect like anything.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Because that's where emotion comes into play. And we've got to like check ourselves. Like, okay, this isn't about me. And they start responding to me. It's not about me. It's not about.
And that's bro. How do you really have like a 2-hour conversation with that kid? You got through maybe a quarter of it. Like I have really had to sit there and.
I could. I was like, I can't even focus on this.
I can't take this personally. This kid is racist, and he was taught racism, and he's racist through ignorance. But I can't blame him because that is what he's learned in this society.
And it's conscious ignorance at this point. Yes, you have a Black person giving you their experience and their truth, and yet you don't want to listen.
But at the same time, you have to give them, I don't want to say the benefit of the doubt, but in a way like this
Jared,
is how...
No, I've read part of that conveation. He was giving you a rebuttal.
Okay, not benefit of the doubt.
No.
Blame.
Hold on. Maybe
because they have only grown up in a society where people like them, white men, have treated other people like this.
I feel you.
They should grow up and should finally develop a mindset where you see you see how you should be because you see the world for what it is. But at the same time, I do get that look. Racism is engraved in our society. There's nothing we can do about it. People are.
I want to piggyback what you're saying. I think we have to, and it's hard to do. But I think we need to do this for everybody. We have to give people time to like learn how to be conscious.
Yes.
But that's what I mean. Like we can't.
Yeah. We have to give people time, and I know it's hard to. But even for myself, when I became quote unquote conscious, like I was like a sophomore in college, and I started learning about these things and what white supremacy meant, and I rejected the term initially. I was like, white supremacy, I grew up with white people, I have white friends, this, that, and the third, one of my best friends is white, all of this stuff. All of that is like, okay, all of that's fine, but it's like,
right.
And I'm like, why the fuck does it exist if I still have all of these, privileges and rights, and it's just like, well.
And you started breaking down those layers, right? Yeah.
Broken down, then I could really like digest it. So we have to give people time, even ourselves, even Black people. We have to give Black people a chance to like really like digest everything, because it just doesn't go overnight. It doesn't. It didn't for me. It took a while. It took that whole semester, because it was racial shit on our campus going on that whole semester. But it took me the whole semester to really grasp the concept of white supremacy, the concept of, I knew we still live in a racist world, but like it just took me a while. It had to sink in and soak in, and I had to like look over my life and look back at what I've been through and experienced, and I just never been able to put it to like towards terms and theories, if you will. But all the shit made sense. So I was like, damn,